Well, it depends how you look at art, and it depends how you look at life. But we've always made arenas for specialized activities. I mean, if you and I say we're going to play tennis, and we have a ball, and we each have a racket, but we don't have a tennis court, and we just play tennis, it would be, in the end, infantile. It's the specificity of it, and it's the drawing, the demarcation, the diagram or the plan, and the language, which involves rules, that gives it its drama. Anything, any human activity. And if you say you're going to make a play, but you're not going to put it on in a theatre, you're going to put it on in the street, it's a nice idea, but it doesn't really function. Or we're going to go to the movies, but we're not going to go to a theatre because they have the movie on the side of a building. This is nothing, all standing around. And art needs a specific place in order for it to function as art. I mean, we've always made designated places, and I don't see a problem with this. I mean, then you apply this to other things in your life. I mean, one can argue that this is all art, but I would argue that it's not. I would contradict Beuys's idea. I think that our spiritual dimension is capable of dominating or controlling or modifying, editing our material nature. But I would say, on occasions, it is perhaps capable of doing this. If we took away our spiritual dimension, I think the world would already be destroyed. As it is, it's nearly destroyed. So I think our love, our human love, the ability that we have to help others is very powerful, but certainly in the minority. I mean, the world is just being eaten up by consumerism, and our spiritual dimension is the part that needs to be developed. Yes, that I hold to the sacred importance of the human being. And it's important to understand that I come from the 60s, you know. That was our last possibility, even though it was a false possibility, to change the world, to make the world reverse. The world will reverse, either voluntarily or involuntarily, but it will reverse. Our idea in the 60s was to change the ethics of the world. And you know, that's why we had demonstrations, why we were against the Vietnam War, why we fought with the police, why we fought against apartheid in Trafalgar Square, you know, and got whacked on the back of the head. And the same police that were whacking us then on the back of the head are now the police that believe in the open society. So this is what I mean by things coming together and then shifting their position 25 years later. What somebody believes in and enforces today changes in the future. So in a sense, I'm a romantic, but I'm a romantic that understands history. I'm a big watcher of films, and I know a lot about films. I think film is a fantastic art form. It's a wonderful art form. And I am a person who really hates the theatre. I find it out of date, old-fashioned, and overtly physical. What I love about film is its lightness of being. It is in fact made of light. And you have all these people walking around in front of you and flying around and visiting places and climbing mountains. And it's very beautiful. And its lightness is its greatness. And it's also its profound limitation. So, knowing all this, I still believe in the possibility to make something that people are attracted to and need and love. Now, somebody asked me once in a symposium if I thought that an artist should find the most appropriate way, technologically speaking, to express thoughts about the society in which the artist was living. And the logical answer to that question is yes, which is why I said no. Because there's something very interesting in this notion of resistance that I find crucial. A painting has the possibility to be a compression of many things at the same time. I'm very political by inclination. I'm very involved. And this confirms what I would call a moral force in my work. It confirms my rigor. The rigor in my work comes in a sense from a kind of heat. It doesn't come from a sense of order. This is a very important issue, I think, in the understanding of my work. Well, not in the understanding of it, but in the, let's say, the use of it. I want it to be used. It's not necessarily necessary to understand it. It's not something to decode, but it's something to use. I would say that my relationship to the world is very active. I'm particularly engaged in life, particularly for an abstract artist. My problem with a lot of abstract painting, my critique of it, is that it provides something that is very dignified, but at the same time it has a tendency to be remote. And I'm not a remote person at all. I'm a very intellectually and physically engaged, actively engaged person with all sorts of issues.